Now get into the studio discussion. As I mentioned earlier, the Kiambu Assembly on Tuesday passed a bill to abolish retail of wine and spirits. The Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2018 has now been signed into law by the governor of that county, Ferdinand Waitito. He has also appointed former Nakada chairperson John Mutudho to advise him about the fight against illegal alcohol. To get an idea of what sort of advice the former Nakada chairperson will be giving the governor of Kiambu County, we have him here in studio. John Mutudho, Honorable, welcome to the program. Thank you so much for finding time to be here with us.
Thank you, Maura.
First things first, help us understand the definition of illegal drinks. When does a drink qualify as illegal?
Illegal drink is any consumable alcohol that is outside the definitions of law. I want to be very specific here that if you look, for instance, at say Tusker beer, it used to be beer Iloiva Sawa Sawa, for instance. If it deviates from the definitions of Tusker as defined by East African breweries or Kenya breweries, in terms of content, in terms of mineralogy, in terms of water quality, in terms of alcohol content, then it becomes an illicit. So if it is prepared by the breweries themselves, note the word, even if it is prepared by breweries themselves, it does not become legitimate if it deviates from the standards that are acceptable for human consumption.
Briefly, and you don't have to get into very deep specifics, what are the standards that are acceptable for human consumption? Give us an idea.
There are several. They are about, let's talk of OPEC beer, for instance. OPEC beer will be made of, say, malt, for instance, and OPEC beer is a type of Summit, Tusker, things like that. Muratina is poured with wine sometimes. Things like Ibuza, Guinness, those are OPEC beers. Alcohol content, for instance, can never be more than 8%.
Never be more than 8%.
Yeah. But I see it here in shelves. Some people selling up at 12% alcohol content.
So technically that should be put under the category of illegal drinks.
Because it is automatically, even if everything else is fine. But the fact that the alcohol content is over and above 8%, ideally not more than 4%, but up to 8 is tolerable.
Okay.
The same thing would be alcohol, spirits ready to drink. Say like XYZ spirit, the one you take, buy and drink. Nobody should be taking one if the alcohol content is above 8%. Okay. Because the body cannot be able to handle beyond 8%. But I see people, it's written clearly for 40% or that 7% of that degrees proof, meaning that 7% alcohol. And you see somebody's trying to...
37%.
Yes, and somebody's trying to drink. There are some which show results up to 45%. And you see a poor Kenyan just trying to drink. It's not allowed.
Okay.
That is illegal.
That is illegal. And to everyone watching this discussion, you can join in on what we're seeing as a deliberate move by the national government and county governments to fight illegal brews. And I thank you that Honorable Mutudho has helped define why they are illegal. 2242 is our SMS line, and use the hashtag CitizenExtra on social media if you have questions or comments about this. This renewed war on illicit drinks, Honorable Mutudho, why is it happening? Why now? Give us the background.
Obviously, Kenyans went to polls sometimes last year, and they blew in new blood. Change for the better. People must respect the law. It seemed the old leadership was totally compromised. So they are coming in fresh, both at national level and county level. It's a fact. We can't over-debate this, because if you look at the licensing regime, for instance, or not even forget about the licensing regime, and looking at your screen and seeing guys dying, over 50,000 people have died.
We are seeing some of those. You agree with those statistics?
Yes.
We had this from Interior PS Karanja Kibisho.
Kibisho is even being a diplomatic, and he used to be in diplomatic office.
He's downplaying the numbers.
He's being diplomatic, not downplaying. Diplomatic, just to make sure that we are able to gulp the next cup of tea. If he was to come and face it real, he would be talking of about 100,000.
My goodness.
And I want to tell you, Maura, send your crew. Let them tell me any mortuary in the Republic of Kenya, particularly in central Kenya, that doesn't have somebody tonight dead because of alcohol. Tonight.
So you look at numbers daily, and you get these particular reports through where? Through your networks?
Through my network. I have informers all over the country. I have friends, incidentally for free. They don't charge me.
They just call you and tell you?
They send me images that are horrifying, yeah? Every day. I also own a rehab and I hear the stories. It's horrifying. Any government, including this one, even if President Uhuru was not to comment about it, the people who are ministers or CSs have a duty and obligation to preserve life. So for that reason alone, that over 50,000 are dead, we go for emergency. We come and attack the enemy. It doesn't matter whether it was malaria, it was alcohol, it was Al-Shabaab, it was who or who. We must attack this one.
Because it's causing the
so
death
this renewed
of innocent
effort
Kenyans.
must be supported by all right-thinking Kenyans.
Before you attack the enemy, you need to understand how the enemy got into your camp. You need to understand the underlying issues.
Sure.
Talk to me about the counties that are hardest hit by this. You've mentioned Central Kenya. What are the issues that lead young people to get into illegal drinking, despite the warning over the years that this could lead to your death?
I want to look at your camera so that I don't blink.
Okay.
And tell Kenyans this.
That camera there.
It's little number 2, camera number 2. I know you can't talk, but you can hear. Let me tell you this. When there was this special branch nonsense, and the Kikuyu youth were branded as Mungiki. Anybody who was sober was taken to be Mungiki. So, to avoid being branded Mungiki, they opted to go and take alcohol and drink. That is the beginning of massive alcoholism in Central Kenya. Our youth were branded Mungiki as a measure to control themselves so that they are not taken by the police as Mungiki. They took alcohol, and that's why the national government now must put in their budget, Parliament must put in their budget a treatment program, massive treatment program, because it was a government mistake. Number 2, immediately that happened, remember there are 4 factors of production in agriculture. We have land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship or management. Coffee fell, tea fell, there was no labor.
You see a direct correlation between
that's
the stagnation of...
I was the chairman of the agriculture committee, and then the board standing. Let him tell me it is not true. We couldn't get labor, so we didn't, our tea fell, our coffee fell, and then our horticulture fell. More problems because now, as a remedy towards stress management, they started taking more and more alcohol. In the meantime, some people in molasses plants were producing industrial alcohol, which was made available cheap from factories, masquerading it to be, first of all, as fortified wine, eventually now as potted spirit. It is wrong. It is immoral, Maura. It is really... some of these things I keep saying that not even Lucifer can approve.
You've talked about Central Kenya, but we are seeing this happening in other counties as well. Yes. Are there other issues that young people are facing with that lead to this?
Unemployment. You see, when the economy drops, it has a ripple effect. When the coffee fell, it does not fall just only in Kenya, in Central Kenya. And we see when the billionaires of Kiambu fall, the people they employ also fall with them. It has a ripple effect. And then they cannot consume goods and services, particularly labor, from these other counties. So again, the young people are subjected to a situation where, like when you have headache, the things people likely to do is to go and buy Panadol in a shop. That Panadol, or any paracetamol. So to remove stress, people have resorted into 2 things: take alcohol or take Mira. And alcohol is very affordable. And because this is not true drinking alcohol, and it is an illicit ab initio, that means even the people who are selling know it is illegal. It's an illegality. The type of things they are branding as gin, brandy, rum, it's all illegal. They cannot meet the definition of consumable alcohol.
Someone is actually sent in an SMS here. You don't give us your name, but you say, here in Thika Makongeni, what is being sold is pure hard drugs in the name of alcohol. They open those bottles and add some stuff. When you drink, you become an addict instantly.
Correct. I want to tell them at Wakongeni, I've been hired by the county as a consultant, and I'll come and prescribe for you, Makongeni. And trust John Mutudo. Governor Waititu is a gentleman for this particular purpose. That he is not the kind of man to come and dance alone. You show him, call AA, R is R. Bad alcohol will be fought from the top, from bottom, from the waters, from the rivers of Thika to Makongeni to everywhere. People are not even having alcohol anymore. That's just colored water with drugs put inside there.
Being called alcohol.
Being called alcohol. And they are sold openly in pro boxes and other things.
Okay.
Any responsible government must show the muscle.
Okay.
The national government must rise up and show it.
Okay. I'll interrupt you briefly because I need to take us back. I'll be taking us to Kwale shortly, where we have an interview there. As our correspondent had mentioned that we expect the IBC chairperson Wafula Chebukati, so we'll take you there when he is before our cameras.
No problem.
So in terms of strategies to tackle the menace in Kiambu County, what sort of ideas are you giving the county government there?
It's a very sober idea. First of all, you do supply suppression. That is heavy. Anywhere, even in the US, in India, and all over, it's heavy. Supply suppression. That's what they are doing now. Cut the supply. Then from there, deal with the treatment and rehab. That is demand reduction strategy. The two working together. The first one taking maybe a maximum of 30 days, and this other one taking about up to 100 days. And then start an empowerment program. And
so those days are enough, 100 days?
They are enough.
Because we're seeing the national government saying that this crackdown will initially last for 4 months, for example.
Yeah, I'm just talking about the Kiambu strategy, which is really, really fine, and I think everybody else should adapt the same. First 30 days, we do total supply suppression. Cut the supply line. Cut off. If you have fire resulting from power supply or gas, you first of all shut. Then come to the damage, to repair the damage. So for us now, we are targeting on supply suppression. Cut the supplies of all illegal alcohol, of all illegal outlets. That is the way to do it. That should not take more than 30 days.
Okay. What happens to the young men who no longer have that supply? Because you've studied them, you know they're thinking, where are they going to go to get their high unless they get a treatment program? What happens to the sellers who've been relying on the illicit brew to take home their daily bread?
Correct. I said there are 3 strategies.
Okay.
Number 1 and number 2 is running concurrent.
Okay.
There's a treatment program. So the young people will be treated.
And is there enough treatment facilities in Kiambu County at the moment?
They have. And even if they don't have, they are experts. They can be leased from all sources.
Okay.
What you require is the dawas, which will treat them. So nobody should die, nobody should get hurt. All the health centers should be able to handle this. And if they require specialized treatment, then they can come to places like our Jomek in Nakuru. That will handle specialized extensive addicts. But generally, they can handle. There's also something called dry turkey treatment.
Dry turkey treatment. Okay.
Dry turkey treatment, you just let the guy there sweat. Yeah? If he survives the pain, he will live to tell the tale. That's dry turkey.
What is the chances of survival, probability?
It's quite high. It's quite high. You also observe before he corrupts and things like that.
Okay.
We don't encourage it, but dry turkey is part of the treatment.
Okay, it's one of the options.
And in a crisis like this, dry turkey will be hardy. But I would encourage them, since NHIF are partnering with all the rehabs, and they are very, very, very clear in their mandate. We also see the president has come in very strong to support NHIF, and NHIF are having a rebate of up to 60,000 shillings for the registered rehabs, and there are many rehabs in Kenya. People should rush to the rehabs immediately.
As soon as possible.
Immediately, not as soon as possible.
Immediately.
Before you get that gaditima, they call it stima, that big kick because of withdrawal symptom. Just rush. If you are a relative or a friend or a neighbor or a good Samaritan, please rush them to the nearest rehab.
Okay.
In Nakuru, we have a capacity to take up to 3,000.
In the facilities that are available there?
Yeah, so those ones around Nakuru, or within Nakuru, Rari area, all these areas, they can rush there. And nobody's going to ask you for money if you're on emergency. That's the rule in Kenya. But nobody should die. Now, I talked of 3 strategies. Number 1 is supply suppression. You cut the supply, just like power supply in case of fire.
And we've been seeing this in Nyeri, we've been seeing this in Kiambu.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you have now the treatment, which goes together. Then after 3 months or within 3 months, now start doing empowerment. Look at these people. Why are they there in the first place? Why are they jobless? Can we be able to have programs in agriculture, in industry? Can we be able to have programs in athletics, programs in sports, programs where? So that all these youth can be absorbed. It is futile. It's stupid for us to pull them out of drinking, and we can't solve their problems. Look at the mushrooming number of stadiums in the Republic of Kenya. Remember, even in the UK when they had a lack of problem, the government started by doing those big stadiums, and that's how you have these big teams like Man U. You have been covering sports, you know it. That's a government project. So the government now will come hardy so that sports, including all the kind of sport that Kenyans love here, are now funded properly. Okay. Clubs are funded properly. And then you have the youth now busy.
Fair enough.